What's up, MMA fans? Rico back in your life for the weekend, back on your screen. So let's get started with the weekend, man. Weekend I went hiking, went to Papa's barbecue, got some good barbecue, bro. Watched the confession tapes. That was fun. That was real good. It was real good. Watched a lot of football. My Cowboys lost. Saints Packers game was really good. That came down to that last play. Um, that was really good. I'm really looking forward to today's game with the gosh, who was it? KC and the Ravens. That should be a shootout, man. Should be really be a shootout. Oh, and then the NBA Finals are set. Lakers and Heat should be really a good one, man. I'm hoping the Heat win, but let me know who you got. I'm not really a huge LeBron fan, but I respect his game. So just let me know who you got in the comments, man. And it's a big weekend. But let me get into the fights, man. But first thing first, like Israel Adesanya, dang, who really saw that coming, man? It's just like, wow. He had a great game plan. Main thing, he used his jab and his kicking for his reach to keep Costa at a distance and kept him, at a rhythm. Costa couldn't get started. A lot of his big leg kicks were like telegraphed. A lot of that stuff was just like, okay, he saw it coming, and Izzy's just too fast for that. Like he's not stupid. He's if you're doing something that's something he knows is coming, or you're doing something over and over again, it's like repetitive. He's gonna basically he's gonna catch on to it. So that was like really just like it was like a master class, man. Like he just really just put it on him, man. He was just like he made him look like he didn't belong in the UFC. He made Costa like he belonged in Bellator or something. I was like, damn. So that was that, man. On that, the other thing, Costa never really pressured him like we've seen him in his other fights. He didn't barrel down, straight down like a bowling ball or something down the alley. He just basically just he kind of did what Romero did. He just basically stood back, tried to taunt Izzy into like coming into him. And Izzy's not stupid. He's not gonna fall for any kind of mental warfare or any kind of tricks or anything like that. He basically just was like, "You gonna come to me? I'm just gonna, I'm the counter fighter. You're not the counter fighter. You're the person that's supposed to be coming at me." So like when Dana was saying this is gonna be the fight of the year and all this shit, I was like, that was it was a good fight, but it was more like Izzy made him just look like he just didn't belong there. But the beginning of the end was basically when Adesanya lands that big right kick at the 2:30 mark of the second round, and it was just like when Izzy landed that kick, he stumbled Costa, and Costa just kind of just retreated, and he didn't look like he wanted to be there anymore. And then like right soon after that, Izzy gets that big looping left hand that he landed on Whitaker as well. It was ironic, man. I was just like, that's the same punch that he took out Robert Whitaker with. So, and they put him to sleep, man. Izzy's feints, his head movement, his footwork, it's just all too much for Costa to even be a threat. Like he's got to get some more fights. He's got to get some more experience. He just at 13-0, I was thinking the same thing. I think I talked about it in the previous fight. He just didn't have that many big fights, and that was Israel's 100th fight in overall combat sports. So I was just like, the experience is just on Izzy's side, and he just looked a lot better. He looked a lot more comfortable in there versus Costa looking kind of like he was just like trying a new game plan that obviously didn't work. He should have tried a little bit harder. But hey, shout out to Costa for trying, man. You don't know until you try. The next thing is this, man. Who do y'all think can even beat Adesanya? I think personally it's gonna have to be another long, rangy fighter who's built like him. So, for example, Jones. What do y'all think? Or maybe Reyes or Johnny Walker. Now, granted, Johnny Walker does not look good as of late, but Johnny Walker and Jones and Reyes are all similar build as Izzy, and there are some and actually they're thicker and they're stronger. So it's just like I feel like somebody like that is gonna have to use their skills and their wrestling to get Adesanya either off his bicycle and beat him, or I just think that's the only way. Um, I don't think it's gonna be anybody from the 185 division. I think Cannonier is gonna be the same thing, man. He's not gonna be enough. He's kind of like a one-trick pony too. He's got a lot of power, but he doesn't really possess a lot of attributes or skills, I think, to beat Adesanya at his game. I think Adesanya is just going to be too quick. He's going to have too much footwork. And he's going to study him, man. He's going to learn all of his tells. And I've seen Cannonier get dropped. Reyes dropped him with that big uppercut. I know Cannonier's lost a few other times, but I think I'm really just trying to remember if my last time I really saw him just lose badly, and that was versus Reyes. And I think Izzy would do something similar. It would probably wouldn't be an uppercut, but it would probably be something like the same thing, like a looping hook when Cannonier pushes forward, like Costa did, and when Whitaker did. I think it'd be something like that. Um, but yeah, it's just gonna. I think somebody's gonna have a strong wrestling base, something like John Jones, who could I think overpower him, use their range as well to kick him from the outside. Somebody who just somebody can wrestle him. But the only bad thing about wrestling with him is like what Derek Brunson tried. When Derek Brunson shot on him after they had that exchange against the fence, Izzy landed a huge knee that basically put Brunson on skates, and he was just like he didn't want no more. And then Izzy just pieced him up, and that was pretty much it. Um, so yeah, I just think it's gonna have to be a long rangy tall person who also has good wrestling. So basically John Jones or somebody who can become John Jones 2.0, or if Reyes gets back on his winning streak and can maybe Izzy will step up and fight him at 205, or because I think at this point John Jones he's probably gonna go up to heavyweight. He's not worried about Izzy anymore. So the next things I want to cover is this: who do y'all think is the best 185 champ of all time? Is it Izzy? Is it Anderson Silva? Some people say it's Rocco. Some people say it's Rich Franklin. I think it's definitely still Anderson Silva. Izzy doesn't have as many title defenses at 185, but the way he's looking right now in these fights, like him against Romero, him versus Whitaker, him versus Costa, he's making these people look like they don't belong in the UFC. He's just basically just toying with people with his skills, man. It's just I don't know. It's just like I don't know who could dethrone him. I don't know who can dethrone Izzy right now, and also I don't know who can. I don't know how much longer it's gonna take for Izzy to dethrone Anderson from the greatest of all time at the 185 division. So y'all let me know who y'all think is the greatest 185 champ in the comments. Just let me know, and we'll go from there. I'll talk about it on the next video. And also the other thing is, Anderson had some really good fights in his 185 reign. That fight against Chael, and that upkick he had against Vitor, and then that war, like I said, against Chael was just like probably one of the best fights ever. How Anderson came back at the end and basically ground and pounded him out. So just let me know who you think in the comments who the best 185 champions. I'll be interested to see who y'all think. Next thing I want to cover is that Reyes and Blachowicz fight, man. What happened to Reyes? Like, where was his killer instinct that he had against John Jones? He just looked like a shell of himself. It was like, was it mental game that was off in his head or whatever? Or, I mean, he didn't want to pull the trigger, bro. It was just like, what was going on? The other thing was like he waited so late in the second round to get started. It was like it was already Blachowicz was already just he was determined to take his head off. You could tell that fight was just like Yan was breaking through Reyes' guard all night. He landed those big looping kicks to Reyes' side, had his whole side looking like hamburger meat. It was just gross. I was just like, man, I don't know. I know that can't feel good. I was just like, dude, I don't know. And that's gotta affect your breathing. Think about getting punched in the chest or the side or your diaphragm or something like that. I don't care who you are, and these dudes are 220 pounds after they rehydrate. So think about getting kicked in the side by somebody who's 220 pounds, and that's got to affect your breathing. That's got to affect a lot of things. So I think those big kicks definitely played a factor in that fight. I also noticed Reyes was on his back foot the entire night. When I went back and watched the fight just a few minutes ago, he was retreating a lot of the fight, and it was like when Yan was coming at him, he was just like I said, breaking through his guard the whole night. It's like his defense was not. His defense wasn't what it was against John in the first fight for the first 3 rounds, where people think he won. We've seen he's susceptible to the takedown, and Yan didn't try that, but he definitely made Reyes' good boxing not look as good as Yan. So I was really surprised at that, man, that fight went the way it went. I had Reyes winning the fight beforehand. I predicted, but I was definitely wrong on that one. So Yeah, man, the fight and it pretty much ended with that. The fight in the sequence starts with a short right hand and then a strong left hook by Jan that Reyes basically didn't see coming. It was just that boom, that right, and then that he landed that looping left on the side of Reyes's cheek, man. That he just jaw that he did not see coming. And they always say, in fighting, it's the ones you don't see coming are the ones that's gonna knock you out. So that big punch was the beginning of the end, man. So, man, the next thing I want to cover is: do y'all think John Jones is going to come back and reclaim what's his? Uh, yeah, John appears to be bulking up on Instagram, so I don't know how much he's gonna want to even go back to cutting weight to 205. Is he gonna go up to face these killers at heavyweight like the Francis of the world and the Stipes of the world? I don't know. We'll see. I think if Jan builds a big enough name, then maybe he'll come back down. But I think at this time, nobody knows. I already said this in the previous fight. Nobody really knows Reyes that much. If you're not actually a hardcore fan, but definitely people don't, in America at least, don't really know who Jan is yet. He needs some highlight reels. Like, and I've been saying that Jan has a better highlight reel knockout of late. Like he had the one against Luke. He had the one against mainly the one against Luke was a really good one. But now that he's added Reyes to his knockout reel, I mean, people are going to start recognizing who he is, and I think people will start buying his fights. And John will probably wait until Yan has a bigger, better resume until he wants to come fight him. But I think it really doesn't come down to John being scared of Yan. I think it's more of a nobody knows who he is. I mean, because if I'm just when I go to the bar and talk to people, half the time the only fighters that most people know, just the average Joe Blow at the bar, they'll know Connor and they'll know John Jones. But anybody else I start talking to them about, they're like, who, what? They don't know who it is. So it's understandable. Most people in this world, in America, it's in our culture. Most people know boxing, but most people in America yet that UFC hadn't really caught on to the mainstream. So most people don't know who Jan Blachowicz is from Poland. They don't know who the hell he is. So I get it why John's not taking these fights with these no name people. They don't present a big payday, and the people of like Francis of the world and the Stipes of the world are going to present a bigger payday or a DC fight again. Now I they can take all my money. I'd love to see that fight again, but we all know that DC's probably done, not come back. So
So
fight of the
fight.
night, man. I had Car France like and Brandon Royval, easily just the most action of the night. That was crazy. That first Car landed that big right on him, and then stumbles Brandon. He takes a knee pretty much. Then he gets up, turns around and lands a spinning back elbow. I was like, holy shit. How did that dude take that punch, man? I was just like, wow. Or that elbow. I was like, how did he take that? And then the fight in the sequence, it ends with this a few stand-up exchanges. Car France, or it shoots. I mean, I'm sorry, Roval jumps guard, jumps on Car's neck, and just guillotine to end the night. To end the night. And that was pretty much it, man. That was a great night of fights. Let me know who your fight of the night was. Let me know if you think John Jones is coming back. Who do you think can beat Izzy? Who do y'all think? Who do y'all think can beat Yan? But yeah, let me know. Like, subscribe, man. I'm gonna get to work, and yeah, you have a good week. Talk to you later.